Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Yasmin Qureshi and today's topics are paraldehyde, glutathamide, chloral hydrate and alcohols. The material for this topic is taken from Wilson and Giswald, which is the textbook of organic medicinal and the pharmaceutical chemistry. Rest of the material for the illustration is taken from different websites. These are the outline or contents of today's lecture. First topic of today's lecture is paraaldehyde. Let's discuss its introduction and few of the important points related to it. It is a sedative, hypnotic with the anticonvulsant effect. It exhibits anesthetic, anticonvulsant and the depressant functions. One of the best and the oldest hypnotics, sometimes used as an analgesic. We will discuss in the later topics that all these sedative or hypnotics are not used as analgesic, but paraaldehyde have the efficacy to work as an analgesic. Having pungent odor, taste and irritating to the mucosa. This is one of the reasons that the paraldehyde is replaced by the other hypnotic and the sedatives. As just imagine if the oral medication is taken and it is irritating to the mucosa or it has the horrible taste, it can and the other medication are also producing the similar indication, then the paraaldehyde is not being chosen for the patient as it is not comfortable for the patient to take this medication. One of the other reason is hazards associated with its administration. What are these hazards are? Tendency to react with plastic. Paraldehyde have the tendency to react with plastic. Just imagine if the IV medication is given and obviously the IV set which is used is made up of plastic. As we all know that these the plastic tubes are there as well as the plastic cannula, as well as if the solid dosage form is there, tablets are there, if it is packaged in the plastic bottles or even the blisters having the plastic packaging material in it, it will react with the paraldehyde and the medication or the and it can react with the paraldehyde and it can produce a hazardous effect. So it is being largely superseded by the other agents which are producing same indication as the sedative, hypnotic, anesthetic, anticonvulsant or the depressant functions. But paraaldehyde is still used to control status epilepticus resistance. It is a condition in which epileptic fits follows one another without recovery of the consciousness between them. It means that the person is having the epileptic effect, but those seizures are not being stopped and they are being occurring again and again. So in this condition paraldehyde is still used. Now let's discuss the chemistry of paraaldehyde. What is paraaldehyde? As the name indicate that it is an aldehyde, but why this para is attached to it? Let's see. It is the cyclic trimer of the aldehyde. How it is cyclic trimer? You can see that over here the aldehyde is present. You can see this. The aldehyde functional group is there, or ethane aldehyde, and the three molecules of ethanaldehyde when treated in the presence of the acid at 25, some of the literature say at 25 degrees centigrade, it make paraaldehyde. Okay, so this over here is paraaldehyde. You can see there is a cyclic, there is a cyclic structure with the three methyl groups attached to it. Okay, and it is prepared by the treatment of aldehyde with the acid catalyst. Acid catalyst is used to speed up the reaction. Now let's see what this ring is called. Okay, you can see that the oxygen is present at which position. Let's give the numbering: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this over here 6. Okay, Now you can see the same ring is there without the methyl group. This ring is called as the 1,3-trioxane. Trioxane, why this is 1,3-trioxane? You can see the oxygens are present at 1, 3 and 5 position. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why it is called 1,3,5 trioxane. Why to mention the 1,3,5? Because the other trioxanes are also possible. Like this structure, this is 1, 2, 4 trioxane. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1,3,4 trioxane. Okay, now once we know that the name of this ring is 1,3,5 trioxane, we can easily give the IUPAC name to it. Just add the 3 methyl group and their position, that is 2, 4, 6 trimethyl 1,3 trioxane. This is our para-aldehyde. Okay, it's not only the aldehyde, it is present in the cyclic form and it is the trimer. Trimer means 3 aldehyde are present. Okay, next topic is the glutathamide. Let's see what is glutathamide. It is an effective sedative and hypnotic. It is introduced in 1954 as a safe alternative to the barbiturates to treat insomnia. As in the during discussion of the barbiturates and the benzodiazepine, we discussed that why the barbiturates are replaced due to their increase or the if the excess use is there and the patient may go into the coma or the death. So for the safe alternative, other medication were discovered and the glutathamide is one of them. However, it had become clear that glutathamide was just as likely to cause addiction and cause similarly severe withdrawal symptoms. So once when it was discovered in or it was introduced in 1954, it was thought that it is a safe alternative, but later it was found out that it caused addiction and it have the similar withdrawal symptoms. Just remember these two terms that the glutathamide related to it. Maybe in the exam the question may be asked which of the sedative of the hypnotic have the addictive or the withdrawal symptoms related to it. Okay, metabolism is extensive and it is the enzyme. This glutathamide is enzyme inducer. Toxic effects in overdose are as severe and possibly more troublesome than those of the barbiturates. So in 1954 it was thought that it is safe alternative, but later it was found out that it is as toxic as the or even more than the barbiturate. Glutathamide is administered orally in the dose 500 mg. It has shorter duration of action and produce hypnotic effects similar to the barbiturates. Okay. Next, let's discuss the chemistry of the glutathamide. You can see in its name that it is an amide. Okay, this amide has many structural relationship with the barbiturates, as we discussed in the previous slide, that it is producing the hypnotic effect similar to the barbiturates, as well as it also resemble in many respects biologically. Means the mechanism of action or the pharmacokinetic is also similar to the barbiturates. Why? Because it has the structural relationship with the barbiturate. The most closely related structure is the phenobarbital. Let's see the structure of the glutathamide. This is the structure of the glutathamide. We will be discussing every part to it, and then we will give its IUPAC name. Let's see its similarity with the phenobarbital. This is the structure of the phenobarbital. You can see in these two structure that on over here the ethyl group is similar, okay, as well as you can see the phenyl ring is similar, and the heterocyclic ring structure is there, but ring is different. We will be discussing what these two different rings are, as well as two oxygen are there next to the nitrogen, but over here one nitrogen and the oxygen is only difference, the rest of the structure is same. Let's see the IUPAC name of the phenobarbital, how the IUPAC name is there: 1 2 3 4 5 6. So at the fifth position the ethyl group is there as well as the phenyl ring is there, and the rest of the structure we already discussed. When in the ring structure, which ring it is the pyrimidine ring. Pyrimidine ring, heterocyclic ring, 6 membered with the 2 nitrogen in it, okay, and in the pyrimidine ring 3 oxygens are present at 2, 4 and 6 position. It is called as the barbituric acid, okay. We also we also discussed that it is an imide, but over here phenobarbital is not an imide. Over here this is an imide. Let's see what imide is. Imide is the functional group consisting of the two acyl group bound to the nitrogen. Okay, let's see the structure of imide. This is the nitrogen and these two are the acyl group bonded to it. Okay, so over here the ring which is formed by the combination of the imide, okay, two acyl group bonded with the nitrogen. What are the acyl groups? The acyl is derived from the removal of one or more hydroxyl group from the carboxylic acid. Let's see the structure of the acyl group or the general structure. In the carboxylic acid, at the position of R, OH is present. Okay, but in the acyl group, this OH is replaced by any other group, but over here you can see the OH is replaced by the nitrogen in the imide. Okay, next point is that it is a glutaramide derivative. Glutathamide is the glutaramide derivative. Like paraaldehyde is categorized into the aldehyde derivative, glutathamide is categorized into the glutaramide derivative. Let's see the structure of glutaramide. You can see in the structure of glutaramide the nitrogen is bonded to the ketone next to it or adjacent to it. Glutaramide is the chemical compound featuring the piperidine ring. Let's see the piperidine ring. Piperidine ring is the heterocyclic ring structure with the 1 nitrogen and 5 carbon present in it. So it is the piperidine ring. We can see in the barbiturates which ring is there, pyrimidine ring is there, but in the glutathamide piperidine ring is there. So in the glutaramide, all the glutaramide, obviously if the glutaramide the other derivatives are formed, there are different attachment to the glutaramide and the various hypnotic and sedatives can be synthesized. Okay, so in the piperidine ring with two ketone attached next to the nitrogen. Okay, so now we know that the chemistry I broke down for you so that it can be easy for you to recognize the structure and give the IUPAC name. For the numbering over here, the numbering was starting from the one of the nitrogen. Similarly over here the numbering was starting from 1 2 3, okay, and 4 5 6 So at the 3 position, the ethyl group is there, phenyl group is there, and then we have the piperidine ring structure, and 2 ketones are present at which position? 2 and 6. So let's see the IUPAC name. It's 3-ethyl 3-phenyl piperidine 2,6-dione. On is for the ketone, di is because of the 2 ketones are present. Now let's discuss the side effects of the glutathione. First is the less common side effects. It may cause skin rash, blurred vision, clumsiness or unsteadiness, confusion, dizziness, hangover effect, headaches, nausea or vomiting. More common are the drowsiness even in the daytime. Symptoms of the overdose: if the patient have taken the overdose, it may cause the bluish coloration of the skin, confusion, convulsions, fever, low body muscle, memory problems, twitching twitching is basically when the muscle is having the involuntary movement, like on the muscles on the face. And though I think you have observed that the muscles are moving on their own, that is, or the even on the hand, that is called as the twitching, when the muscles are moving on their own. Shortness of breath, low heartbeat, loss of reflexes, slurred speech, staggering, trembling, trouble in concentration. These are the side effects related to glutathione. As we already discussed, it is biologically similar to barbiturates, so we are not discussing its pharmacokinetics or the mechanism of action, because it's very similar. Some of the topics, like for example SAR, we haven't discussed, related to paraldehyde and the glutathione. These topics are not available, maybe one of the reason that these drugs are replaced and no longer used extensively, so the detailed studies are not there. That's why I have collected all these topics in the same lecture, because they are present in the very concise way in our textbook as well as the material available on the internet. The therapeutic uses of the glutathione: it is used as the hypnotic in insomnia, but rarely used as a sedative. Glutathione was initially to be almost free from side effects. Obviously, when it was discovered, it was thought that it do not have any of the side effects, but later when the studies continued, found out that it have the various side effects related to it. However, further experience of its toxicity and because of its dependence liability, glutathione has been banned in many countries, and many countries have stopped the production. So I was saying the similar thing, because its production is stopped, the researchers also stop, and we do not find many data, the data other than this related to it. Now the next topic, or the third topic, is chloral hydrate. Chloral hydrate is the crystalline water soluble hydrate. You must see that it is a combination of two terms, chloral hydrate. It is a crystalline water soluble hydrate. It is a sedative used in short term treatment of insomnia. It is used to relieve anxiety. It induced sleep before surgery, to treat the alcohol withdrawal. It has no analgesic or the tranquilizing effect. As I was saying in the paraldehyde, some of the sedatives are there. They have no analgesic effect to it. Divide of the ADR's respiratory effect at the therapeutic dose. If the therapeutic dose is used, it do not produce any of the respiratory related ADRs. It is also classified as a halogenated compound. As we were discussing, the paraldehyde is classified under aldehyde derivative, glutathione as glutaramide derivative. It is classified under and under halogenated compound. Why? You can see in the name chloral. Okay, chloral, chlorine. That's why it is classified under the halogenated compounds. Okay, let's discuss the chemistry of the chloral hydrate. As the name indicates, it containing chloral and the hydrate. Chloral, obviously the chlorine will be there. Hydrate, the hydroxyl group will also be there. So this is the structure of the chloral hydrate. You can see two carbons are present, and with the carbon the three chlorine atoms are present, and the by the hydrate because of the two hydroxyl group are present. Okay, that's why in the previous slides we have discussed that it is halogenated derivative due to the presence of the chlorine, but it is also the aldehyde and their derivatives. It is grouped in the aldehyde and their derivatives. Why? Let's see the structure of chloral. You can see in the chloral structure the aldehyde group is present, means chloral hydrate is synthesized from an aldehyde, and you can see that with the other carbon three chlorine are present. That's why chlor for the chlorine and al for the aldehyde. Let's and if we discuss about its IUPAC name, if this carbon is 1 and this carbon is 2, so these three chlorines are there, then it will be 2 2 2 trichloro, you can say ethanol, or it can be trichloroacetaldehyde because of the two carbons are present. If only one carbon was there, it would be formaldehyde, but over here two carbons are there, it is called as the acetaldehyde. Now this acetaldehyde is synthesized from an alcohol. Which alcohol? Ethanol, and it is formed in the presence of HCl. So from the ethanol this trichloroacetaldehyde is formed, and this chloral is then converted into the chloral hydrate in the presence of, I think you already know the answer, in the presence of water molecule, and it formed trichloroacetaldehyde monohydrate. Okay, you can see two, this is the structure. Monohydrate is formed is an aldehyde hydrate. Okay, let's see the structure of the how it is synthesized. This is the structure of chloral hydrate and how it is converted into trichloroethanol. So before moving forward to trichloroethanol, let's see the structure of the chloral hydrate, how its IUPAC name will be. If this is 1 and this is 2, you can see on the 2 carbon, second carbon, 3 chlorines are present, and on the 1 carbon, 2 OH groups are present. So the IUPAC name will be 2,2,2 trichloroethane. Why ethane? Because there is no any double bond present. 1,1 diol. Okay. Now this chloral hydrate is converted into the trichloroethanol. The reason is that the active metabolite is trichloroethanol. Chloral hydrate is not active. It is taken, the drug is taken as the chloral hydrate. In the body, it is converted into an active metabolite, that is the trichloroethanol or TCE. Okay, you can see one of the OH group is replaced by the trichloroethanol. Now in the exam, I can give you the structure of the trichloroethanol and can ask you, because if we in the trichloroethanol only one hydroxyl group is there, but in the chloral hydrate two of the hydroxyl group are present. Now the after the conversion into active form for the excretion, it is converted into the glucuronide. We already discussed that the what is the glucuronide? When the glucose or the glucuronic acid is added to your drug product for its excretion, it is called as the glucuronide. Means at the the trichloroethanol, the glucose part is added, and this trichloroethanol glucuronide is then excreted out through the urine. Okay, let's discuss the SAR of the chloral hydrate. Prolonged use of the chloral hydrate leads to a condition similar to alcoholism or morphinism. Means if the chloral hydrate is used for the prolonged use for the longer period of time, it may cause unsteadiness, confusion, dizziness, drowsiness like happen during the alcoholism or morphinism. So to reduce that or to stop that, to lessen the side effects, some derivatives have been produced without side effect. For example, what are these derivatives which do not have alcoholism or morphism effects? That is the trichloroethyl phosphate. Let's see the structure. You can see in the structure of the trichloroethanol, the phosphate group is added and it becomes trichloroethyl phosphate. Okay, so that is the drug which do not have the similar side effects as that of the chloral hydrate or the trichloroethanol. Now the mechanism of action of the chloral hydrate, it's again similar like the barbiturates or benzodiazepine. It appears to have the potent barbiturate-like binding to the GABA receptors. So all these hypnotic and sedatives we have been discussing, they all are affecting binding to the GABA receptor and producing their sedative of the or the hypnotic effect. Now the pharmacokinetics. Chloral hydrate itself could be detected only 8 to 60 minutes after application at very low concentration in some of the plasma sample. Keeping in mind, chloral hydrate is not an active compound to produce the effect. So when it was seen, it was detected only 8 to 60 minutes after application. Okay. It is justified to characterize its bioavailability by the active metabolite trichloroethanol due to extremely short terminal half-life. You can see that its half-life must be very short. That's why the active constituent will also be having a short half-life. Chloral hydrate and its metabolite like trichloroacetate and dichloroacetate means in that structure one of the chlorine is replaced. So dichloroacetate or trichloroacetate have been shown to induce liver tumor. It when it is saying have been shown, so it is not confirmed, but there are chances that the metabolites of the chloral hydrates are causing liver tumors. The pharmacokinetics of the chloral hydrate and its metabolite play an important role in its toxicity, as we discussed in the previous point that it may cause the liver tumors. Formation and metabolism of the chloral hydrate metabolites seem to be dose dependent. More the dose, higher will be its metabolites, and lower the dose, lower the amount of the metabolites. Okay, let's discuss about the last topic of today's presentation, that is alcohols. Alcohol, very simple alcohol, ethanol has a long history of use as a sedative and the hypnotic. But as we all know, these alcohols have been replaced for the reason alcoholism or the toxic effect on many organ system, that it may cause various toxic effect on the organ systems such as pancreas or kidney or the immune system, especially the brain is affected by it. Alcoholism itself also known as the alcohol use disorder, and these disorders are classified into two categories, either it is alcohol abuse or alcohol dependence. So the patient, even if the patient is there and the alcohols are being prescribed as a sedative, such as ethanol, they may end up having the alcoholism, that is the dependence to it, or the abuse to it, because they are suffering with the problems such as the mental illnesses, and if they are not taking the alcohol, it is being affecting their health or their normal functioning. Okay, ethanol is seldom now, it is not being used like the other hypnotic and sedatives because of these side effects. So it is seldom preferred as the as agent medically, and other drugs have been developed. Now the mechanism of action of alcohol, similarly like other sedative and the hypnotics, it potentiates the GABA receptor action. Let's see the diagram, let's revise it. That when the ethanol is given, it is binding to the GABA receptor, potentiating the effect, which results in the in the opening of the GABA channels. You can see these small red dots are the GABA. GABA is released once what happened, ethanol is binded to GABA receptors, and it is helping in the binding of these to the GABA receptors, and the chlorine influx is taking place. When the chlorine influx is there, there is hyperpolarization and inhibiting the action potential and relaxing the body. Okay, one thing that is different from that, it is mentioning the, it depresses the benzodiazepine GABA A chloride ionophore receptor complex, okay, located in the limbic and the hypothalamic region of the CNS. It was mentioned in the text, so I wish to share it with you that it is depressing the CNS by binding at the benzodiazepine GABA A chloride ionophore receptor complex located in the limbic and the hypothalamic region. We will be discussing what is ionophore. This increases the frequency of the chloride channel opening, allowing the flow of the chloridine into neuron and ultimately leading to hyperpolarization and decreasing in the neural excitability. Now let's see what is ionophore. Ionophore, ion carrier, a substance which is able to transport particular ion across a lipid membrane in a cell. Means, for example, there is an ion, chlorine ion is there, and it is being transferred inside the membrane through the substance called ionophore. Let's see its diagram. The ionophores are of two types, carrier ionophore or the channel forming ionophore. You can see that channel forming is cylindrical or the channel, and the carrier ionophore, it is being transferred to the other and then inside the or other side of the membrane. Now let's discuss the SAR of the alcohols. First point, homologous series of normal alcohol is ascending from the ethanol. Means the action sedative or the hypnotic is not for the methanol, it starts from the ethanol. Ethanol, as we all know, two carbon atom with the alcohol group binded to it. But the CNR depressant potency increase up to 8 carbon. If the carbons are more than 8, then the activity will start to decrease. It will not be a loss, completely loss of activity. It will start to decrease. Now, how many carbons atom? 8. Now, let's see the example to it, which I want to explain to you. It doesn't matter that it should be a straight line. Okay, keep that in mind that the molecule should not have more than the 8 carbon. For example, in this example, 1 2 3 4 carbons are there over here. 6 carbons are there. Over here 1 2 3 carbons are there. Again 1 2, so total number of carbon must be 8, or if it is more than 8, the activity will decrease. We will see in the later file there is one of the alcohol which have the more number of the carbon than 8, but activity is there, but it is decreased, not completely lost. Okay, next point, branching of the alkyl chain increase the depressant activity. Okay, so you can see over here. Now one more thing, this example which I am mentioning you, these are not the alcohols which are producing the sedative, and this is just for the example showing you the branching or the number of the carbon atoms. Okay, so now the point saying branching of the alkyl chain increase the depressant activity. Okay, you can see over here this carbon have the branch to it, so if the branching is there, it is increasing the depressant activity. Replacement of the hydrogen atom in the alkyl group by the halogen increase the potency. Means, for example, this hydrogen, if it is replaced in the alcohol, the hydrogen is replaced by the halogen, it will increase the activity. Carbamylation of the alcohol increase depressant potency. What is carbamylation? We will discuss it. Carbamate group are much more resistant to metabolism than the hydroxyl group. So this point is explaining that how it is increasing the depressant activity. Basically, it is affecting the metabolism. It is much more carbamate group than the alcohol group is much more resistant to the metabolism. Let's see the carbamate. What is carbamate? Carbamate is the organic compound derived from the carbamic acid. You can see this is the carbamic acid. This is the general formula for the carbamate. Okay. The sixth point for the alcohol is hydroxylic compound and their carbamate used as the hypnotic and sedative, such as ethyl chlorvinol, ethanamate, and the meprobamate. Means that the hydroxylic compound as well as their carbamate derivative. Whose carbamate derivative? Of the alcohols. They have the same sedative and the hypnotic effects, such as these three examples are given. These are basically alcohols producing the alcohols or their derivative producing the sedative and the hypnotic effect. First one, ethyl chlorvinol. You can see the branching of this structure to increase the depressant effect. You can see that over here there is a double bond, over here there is a triple bond, and the alcohol is there. Hydroxylic group is there. Carbamate is not in this structure. We can see over here that ethanamate carbamate is here, and the mate, it shows the carbamate over here, but when it is in the end of the structure ol, you can see carbamate is not in this structure, alcohol is there. Okay, let's discuss this structure. You can see the halogen is also present. Means the last point which we discussed, that the halogen increase the activity. Okay, so this structure of the ethyl chlorvinol, this derivative have the one of the hydrogen is replaced by the halogen to increase the activity. Let's see its IUPAC name. Numbering will begin from the halogenated carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 carbon chain. Is it pentane? No, it cannot be pentane because of the double bond and the triple bond. Okay, so we will be giving numbering where there is double bond, like 1 ene, okay, and number 4 ine by n. Okay, You can see on the third carbon, what is this? Ethyl is attached, and on the third carbon hydroxyl group is attached. Okay, so its IUPAC name is 1-chloro, okay, 3-ethyl, over here 3-ethyl, and then we can also say 3-ol, or we can say ol at the end also. Okay, 3-ethyl pent, 1 e 4, this 4 ine, 3-ol. Okay, so this is the derivative of the alcohol producing hypnotic and the sedative effect. Let's see another example, then we will discuss few points of this eth-chlorvinol. Second is the ethanamate. Okay, ethanamate, you can see its structure that the carbamate is present. Basically over here this was hydroxyl, but now H is replaced and the carbamate group is added. This is one, okay, one first carbon. So on the first carbon you can see triple bond ethine is attached. So it's and this is not benzene because of the unsaturation is not there. This is cyclohexane, but over here there was the hydroxyl group there. That's why you can see in the structure it says hexanol. But in this structure you must ask the question, in this structure the OH is not there, but some of the IUPAC name are with their parent compound. What was their parent compound? This name indicates that it was hexanol and then it was replaced by the carbamate. So 1-ethine cyclohexyl carbamate or 1-ethanyl cyclohexanol carbamate. Okay, let's see the next structure, mefrobromate, which is also a carbamate. Now in this structure you can see how many carbamate group are present. 2 carbamate group are present, so it will be dicarbamate. Okay, how many carbons and the attachments are there? 1, 2, 3. Okay, on the second carbon methyl group is attached, and on the again on the second carbon 1, 2, 3. What is this? Propane. Let's see its name. 2-methyl 2-propyl. Why we haven't written propane? Because it is binded to second carbon, so it is "-yl" for the attachment. Now the carbamate is present on the 2 position on the first and the third carbon. That's why we have written 1,3 propane diol. Again in this structure it is talking about its parent compound. In the parent compound over here was the hydroxyl group, it was diol, but now it is replaced by the carbamate. So previously on the 1 and the third carbon diol was there, so we cannot say propane, it was basically propanol, but one propanol was not there. There were two alcohol group added, so propanediol, now it have become dicarbamate. Okay, so it is used as a sedative and the hypnotic. Let's talk about the first derivative, eth-chlorvinol. It is a member of the tertiary carbenols. You can see that the carbon is added to the 4 different types of the groups. We discussed the tertiary carbon in our previous lecture. So it is to reminding you that it is a member of the tertiary carbenols. You can see that it is not a carbamate, it is an alcohol and not being substituted by carbamate. Superseded and is only used where an intolerance or the allergy to other drugs exist. Though the branching was made in the structure, halogen was added in the structure, but still the much more effective drugs are available, so it is being superseded and only used in the case when there is intolerance to the other drugs, or if there is allergy to the benzodiazepine or the barbiturate, then it's used. Lastly, we will be discussing just the ethanamide, not the mefrobromide. Ethanamide is the short-term sedative and hypnotics and used in the treatment of the insomnia. This is all about these four topics. Inshallah, we will meet again in the next lecture.